Hello, writers. Today you are going to begin flash drafting your book. I'm so excited. It's my favorite part. Okay. So, yesterday you planned your chapters, right? You thought of what are the things that I want to teach? What are the skills? What is the equipment? What might my readers need to know? Okay. And this was my topic, mushroom foraging. So I'm going to talk about the different types of mushrooms, when to find mushrooms, and the tools you will need. And I even started thinking about some little subtopics within my chapter. So as I'm planning it out, I'm thinking, what chapter am I going to have? So I'm thinking first, I'm going to start with what types of mushrooms. Now, I said, you want to keep in mind who is your audience? Who are you writing this book for? And I decided this book is going to be written for people who already know a little bit about mushrooms. So I'm not going to include a chapter on what is a mushroom. I'm just going to assume my audience is picking up this book because they know what mushrooms are, but they want to know how to find mushrooms in the woods. So that's who I'm writing to. So I'm just going to dig in with what type of mushroom. Right now, think about your topic. Think about who you're writing to. What do they probably already know that you don't need to explain to them? And then pick up with what they do need to know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started here. So the first step, rehearse for writing by teaching yourself or someone else. Okay, so I'm going to teach people who want to go into the woods and find mushrooms. All right, so what would they be interested in knowing? Right? My audience, people who already want to go out and look. Okay, so what am I going to teach them? First of all, I'm going to teach them what kind of mushroom they're going to be looking for. This includes edible mushrooms, right? So I'm going to talk about the top 5 edibles in Minnesota, I decided. And those are chanterelles, morels, oysters, chicken of the woods, and hen of the woods. Okay, those you can find in Minnesota. So now I'm really thinking my audience is people from Minnesota who are going to be looking for mushrooms. Okay. The next thing I think people really need to know are what are the poisonous ones, especially lookalikes, because as you're searching for mushrooms, you need to know which ones to avoid too, because there's a lot that can kill you if you eat them. So I'm going to look for the top poisonous mushrooms in Minnesota, like the death cap, the amanitis, the destroying angel, right? And then I'm also going to talk about medicinal mushrooms. So mushrooms that you can be used as medicine. Things like chaga, reishi, lion's mane, and turkey tails. Okay. So now that I know what I'm going to write about, I need to figure out how am I going to start drafting. And I want you to follow a certain format as you create your paragraph. You might have seen this before. It's called a hamburger paragraph. So the top bun and bottom bun are made out of what? Bread, a type of bread. Did they make a different recipe for the top bun and then a different recipe for the bottom bun? No, it's one bun that's cut apart, same recipe. So you're going to start with your topic sentence. You will end with a concluding sentence that mirrors or is the same kind of ingredients as the top sentence. Okay, so your top sentence in your paragraph tells the reader the main idea. What is this paragraph going to be about? Okay, then you give 3 or 4 supporting sentences that describe in detail what you're trying to teach. And then you have your bottom bun, same as the top, restate what the sentence was or what the paragraph was about, kind of sums up a main idea. So let's get started. I'm going to use my template here. So my first topic, mushroom foraging, I have my table of contents laid out. And so I'm staring at this blank page. And to set this up, I'm going to add a text box. And I'm going to include in the text box this whole section here because I'm going to be typing on these lines. Okay. Now I'm going to be typing in these lines. So staying in the lines, I want to make sure it is 1.5. So I'm looking at spacing so that it's correct spacing. Okay. So as I start my paragraph, chapter 1, I'm going to title it oh, you know what? I don't like that font. Let me change the font. Like this. This is more fun. Choose your color, choose whatever you want. It's your book, right? Have fun with it. Types of mushrooms. Okay, so that is going to be in the middle. That's the start of this chapter title. I'm going to make it bold. I'm going to underline it. Boom. Now I'm going to come down to the next line. I need to move back to the left. I don't want it underlined or bold, right? And I'm going to start typing. Now I need to hit tab so it's indented because I'm going to write an actual paragraph. So what am I teaching? Well, I'm going to tell my readers about the different kinds of mushrooms in Minnesota. So I'm going to say there are, well, what am I talking about? 3 different kinds, right? 3 different types of mushrooms to look for, no, to forage in, no, to know about. There we go. In Minnesota. I decided my audience is going to be Minnesota mushroom foragers. Okay. That's my topic sentence. Now I'm going to have sentences that describe what I'm trying to teach. What am I trying to teach? Let me just list them here. Edible, poisonous, and medicinal means it can be medicine. Medicinal. Okay, that's my topic sentence. Now I'm going to go ahead and explain what they are. Some of the most common edible mushrooms in Minnesota are, now here's where I list them. Chanterelles, oyster mushrooms. I'm going to keep going using my notes. I want you to think about topic sentence, all the details. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to list all the kinds of mushrooms. I'm going to list all the kind of poisonous, and then I'm going to list all the kind of medicinal. All right, then at the end, I'm going to write my concluding sentence. So this is my sentence that's going to wrap up my ideas. Okay, so I'm probably going to be down here. And so my final sentence is going to wrap up, what I just talked about. I'm going to say something like, as you can see, now you know, as I've shown you, okay, about the 3 basic types of mushrooms in Minnesota. All right. So going back to our slides, Hamburger, this sentence refers to the topic and sums up the main idea of the paragraph. Okay. Now you know about the 3 types of Minnesota mushrooms. Let's just leave it at that. All right. So all in here is going to be all my information about the different types of mushrooms, okay? So how are you going to lay out your page? What are you going to talk about first? Give your introductory sentence, right? How are you going to introduce the topic, right? How are you going to conclude? Remember, this is the same stuff you're talking about from the beginning to the end. The middle is all those details. All right. I can't wait to see what you write. Let's get started with our drafting.